all. But isn't this also a time where we were hearing of one of the things, the SUG, was it the SUG president of, I can't remember if it was for Uniport or so,
Yes.
that was trying to put something together with regards to transportation. I can't recall. Perhaps this ailment is affecting my memory. I think something around transportation, I can't remember. And he was, it was in his own office as SUG president, was trying to see what he also could do. You're representing students, and how can we help? How can we, what little thing can we look at and say, okay, let's remove this burden from students and make it easy for them? So I'm saying for NOS now, let's not even look at River State students in all the other. Let's look at here in River State, in your own school. Yeah. Where you are, what is NOS looking at to say, okay, while we are negotiating with government and talking to, what can we do to also, in our own little way, help students? So students, River State would also look and say, okay, at least we are not just members of NOS for members of NOS sake. There's something that we get.
Now, talking about the SUG, you cannot compare the SUG to NOS.
No, I'm not comparing.
No, I'm coming. Now, the SUG governments, they have statutory funds coming into their union, different universities. But the NOS, the National Union of University Students, do not have statutory funds. After an emergency, we, the leadership, have to go out to sort for funds in order to run the union. So these are part of our needs that needs to be met.
So you don't have funds in any way except from voluntary donation?
Definitely. We seek out for partnerships and sort for funds in different areas. So what partnerships
have you sought now to help students in this time?
Right now we've sent out letters to seek for partnership in order to assist the students at this time, before the government come in.
Okay.
But those proposals have not been met yet.
What areas do you think at the moment is most pressing for students now that you think should be urgent, if addressed, would remove a huge chunk of worry that students would have because of the economic situation?
Currently, speaking for Rivers State students, let me first of all, kudos to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who have, I believe from the 21st of this month, the student loan scheme will come into actualization. But at this point, speaking for River State students, we are at this point. I want to use this opportunity to remind the state government of their promise in paying bursary to River State students. And this bursary payment, let me tell you, this bursary payment will assist the students in a lot of ways, to help them a lot. Like I've said, most persons are spending for themselves, whilst most persons, their parents are fending for them. The situation of the economy has impoverished a lot of houses, a lot of households. So this bursary payment will help a lot of students, even for a year.
Beyond bursary, are there other policies you think that school managements should put in place in these hard economic times, to perhaps, make things or give students a soft landing ground?
Yes, like I've said, those institutions that are moving on with the policy of no school fees, no exams, and no classes and all that, they should think about the students. They should think about the economy of the country at this point by considering that instrumental payment. Also, I want to extend my kudos to the Vice Chancellor of the University of Port Harcourt, who happens to be my Vice Chancellor and also my school. From my points, from the very first time I gained admission to the University of Port Harcourt, this policy has been there. This instrumental policy has been there.
All right, hold the thoughts there. We'll continue with it as soon as we return after the commercial. Nigeria Info 92.3 PH on Facebook. Drop your comments. We'll be back.
You are tuned
NOS president, Precious, Mr. Precious. Thank you very much, Abbey Precious. And we generally have been looking at the economic situation, its impact on students, the cost of education, no fees, no exam policies. And my guest has said, well, a few things that can be done in these trying times with the situation that we're in economically is for schools to begin to look at policies that would be a bit friendly and flexible for students. And one of them would be to try and those who are implementing the no fees, no exam policy should consider removing that, and in place of it, room for instrumental payments, among several other policies that he has suggested that can be put in place by schools to help students and their parents and families in this time. And there's also talked about how the state government should consider its promise to begin payment of bursary, as that payment now more than ever would go a long way for students in Rivers State. Well, get on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH and share with us your thoughts. Should schools be implementing policies that will reflect the harsh situation of the economy? Is what many would be asking. Isn't that the way to go? Shouldn't the schools? I mean, we've had complaints of medical students and the rest having to pay. In fact, I think you can't also blame the schools. If you look at it critically, they are also affected by the economic situation, and then it requires them to also see how they increase the prices and cost for some things because they have to run these institutions as well. So it's a very big cycle, a very big one. And this cycle, if we are not careful, could be the doom of us unless something miraculous would happen with our economy in a short space of time to turn back the wheels. 0817-923-0002 0817-923-0003 and 0817-923-0007. Those are the numbers that you can call to join in on the conversation. It doesn't only affect tertiary education, also people at the primary schools. Parents are having same difficulties, the cost and how the fees are being, increasing. Yeah, and then beyond that, there are other extracurricular activities that the school would want you to pay for that are compulsory. And so you're even thinking, is the school management considering that, some of these extracurricular activities, let's tone it down because it's difficult for parents to pay and meet up with these things. But this is what it is. Call us up and let us also hear from you, and let's hear your opinion and your experience and your suggestions, which is very important. Your suggestions on how you think we can go forward from here on the part of both school management and the government. Start with Zion from GRA. Good morning, Zion.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andrew. There is no reason that the economical effect of a nation should have a stifle on education. It has never happened anywhere in the world, in any era of economic downturn, except here in Nigeria. All wickedness, nothing more. I challenge any economist to come and tell me why schools should increase fares and fees. But I think at a time like this, instead of asking for bursary, they should be asking for free education, or the government should pay a percentage to the school fees. Sharing bursary, to me that it looks so primitive and it looks so fraudulent. Don't give them the money. How much is your school fees? 80,000. The government pays. Or if the bursary is 50,000, you pay 50,000 to subvent the fees. This is how things work. This is how people are promulgating education in their country. Why are we not adopting these processes? Is it wrong for schools now to start getting their own businesses? Is it wrong for schools to now go to agriculture? Is it wrong for schools to start having other source of financial incomes to upgrade and support the students, because my fear is this: if you keep increasing school fees, what are going to invoke is voluntary withdrawal or dropout. Do you know what that will cost to the students?
All right, Zion, thank you. Robin in a chair, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
Yep, go on, Robin.
Yes, I wish you a fast recovery. You're recovering indeed.
Thank you.
You see, I still start when special services come. But please listen to our guest decision. Let me tell you, most difficult thing.
Robin, we can barely hear you. I think you might have to change your environment or something.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I said the most difficult thing as a student is to go to class with empty smoke. Or why in class you don't know what to eat after the class. And most of these administrators holding schools in the country today, they are beneficiaries, most of them, beneficiaries of free education. What is this schooling here? Where a lot of suffer. Abroad, they were paid by the resources of the state, either the federal or state government. And why and they're not thinking that they want something they have them should benefit. In all, like that was there. What he's praying for, the primary thing he's praying for is asking for. As he knows the fees are high, but can the school allow the students or parents to pay them on a instrumental basis? Let me tell you, I almost fainted or died as an old man running the program back in the days. 2012, I was one of the first, or it was our first, at the University brought the policy, no school fees, no students. I was inclined to defend my students who were taught because we were going some fees. I had to run around and raise the money and pay school fees before I was able to defend projects. If you are not part of the process, you will not understand. So, either the government or the school, they should listen to the students. Why they go ahead, something for money? They should allow them and treat the process with which they can pay on a instrumental basis. This is not fair this morning. Good morning, the farmer.
Thank you. Ida from Nkoro, good morning.
Yeah, I'm referring. Thank you very much. God bless you. And Lord, I want to plead with the federal government and the state government. Students are suffering. And most parents are selling vegetable in the market and selling the market sweating. Then you come and increase these fees. Why? It's no good. How much of our senators are eating? At least school fees also be free. People will go to school. If you go to school, you will not see anything robbery. You will not see anything attack. That's why these boys do Yahoo to further their education and to feed their parents. So when they are doing, you go and carry them. I didn't say that it's good for them to go and do Yahoo. It's not good. But the school fees increase is very high. And I want to increase school fees, non-indigenous. Who is non-indigenous? Anybody that is staying in River is from River State. We don't have non-indigenous. School fees should be equal, should be lower, so that people can go to school. And they say, go to school now, you'll be very angry. But if they say go to school, you'll be very happy. But now the school fees, from primary school to secondary, from secondary school to university, is very, very hard. And look at transportation. Before they would pay transport down, if maybe somebody is staying at Burkina is going to split job, how much going and coming? Look now, go to market, women are suffering. Early morning, you see mothers on top tipper, on top this thing, coming at 5 o'clock, where they are supposed to be resting. It's not good now. State and federal should please do something about this thing. South Sudan can be able to go to school and be very happy. Thank you very much, Honorable. That's from Nkoro.
Right, Ida, thank you very much. 0817 923 0002 0817 923 0003. Muriel in Okrika. Muriel, good morning.
Thank you, Femi. Good morning.
You're welcome.
This is the Okrika woman. Look, Femi, these are the issues, honestly. We keep talking about workers and workers, how can workers so the students have come up is biting hard on them as well. Your guest is like is of the Uniport and is in Uniport. I mean, I would like you to really break down, tell us since federal government gave financial autonomy to universities, federal universities, what are the changes? Now universities start paying their staff their salaries, and they will say, hey, they are running diesel and this thing. And if you look at the old stuff, you see that they don't even have steady power supply, but now they hold on to diesel costs and all the like. What is the impact now that they're taking financial autonomy? And you see, when I went to school, we did most clearance. The fees that are attached to this can be suspended for now, as a form of relief for students. And so far, the fees they've gathered, can they set up maybe one or two things as a relief to their students? Maybe cyber, that, okay, as a student in university, you cannot do without visiting cyber cafes. In the school. Trust me, the fees, students cannot feed themselves. It's almost impossible for people to eat even 2 square meals now. With the cost of transportation in schools, what are the necessary steps they are taking to ensure that at least these people that are doing businesses in school, even the transport people, they try to cut it down to the barest minimum and cannot bring up these small buses, mini buses, even okay, to serve as a relief to their students. This also goes to the SUD. Little things, you ask him, what can they do for now to bring a little succor to their students? Can you tell us what and what they can do? I've just given 1 or 2 pointers. Can you tell us what they can do?
Thank you very
much.
Just
as they're waiting for government to do.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. I think it's exactly the same thing I've been asking you. We'll come to it. We have a few more calls to take, so just take notes. Livinus is in a chair. Livinus.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please, if I may ask, why is the student loan, which was promised by Tinubu's government then to Nigerian students, promising that none of them will drop out of school because of money?
The student loan is supposed to
cannot fulfill that promise. The students should take their destiny in their hands. Enough is enough for every successive government in this country. They are taking the citizens for a ride. If you remember that they swore to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to take care of the welfare of the citizens. Parents are suffering. Students are suffering. Every sector is broken. There should be a revolution in this country.
Hello, Livinus.
Hello?
I just wanted to know if you're done with your contribution.
Hello?
I wanted to know if you're done with your contribution.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Livinus, thank you. I understand your position about this. For the loan program, it's to pay for fees. I'm sure it's for tuition. It's the money you collect to. I don't know whether the government will give you the money or the government would pay the fees directly to your institution, perhaps when you fill up to any information. Because I know that conversation was held and we needed clarity in explaining how, a person who hasn't eaten and you're giving them money to go and pay school fees, it might just be very difficult. As much as the fees are important, I was a student and I know 2 things are most important for students: transportation to the school and what to eat. True. Then where to stay. But these first 2, how to go to the classes every single day and back, and what to eat every single day. We'll get a response to it, but the lines are really buzzing. A lot of people have stuff to say. Good luck in John Kramer. Good morning.
Yes. Okay, hello?
Yes, go on. Good luck.
Okay. Please, I want to suggest that the government should subsidize the education. Like, the government should make let me say, if the school fees, the government should pay the 50% of the school fees, or 60% for the students to pay 40%. If they are unable to make the education actually very free, and again, the students should also try as their possible means in order to have 1 or 2 skills that we use to support themselves. Let me say, partially being self-reliant. And the government truly, they should also try to since they cannot empower they can't give students free education, they should try and empower students in what they can do to be self-reliant in order to cater for their school fees, in order to make their education more better. Because, the increase of school fees makes a lot of people withdraw, and they will go and, cause nuisance, cause something bad, out of frustration, do what they're not supposed to do. So the government should at least reduce the school fees, and then also empower people, students, on the skills that will help them to be self-reliant, so that the burdens of the parents will be reduced. Thanks.
All right, let's go to Patrick in Woji. Patrick, okay, we lost the call from Patrick. The number still is 0817-923-0002. You can also call 0817-923-0003 and 0817-923-0007. All right, Mr. Precious, so you heard some of the listener. And I was asking you the same question because I needed to know. Yes, the government were waiting, but then steps have to be taken by NOS. Is it possible for NOS to work in collaboration with the SUG to say, okay, this is what we think we can also do? If, let's say, for instance, let's try and see how we can take care of the transport for students coming to school. What program can we come up with to help students and make it easier for them to pay less or not pay at all, if it's possible, coming to school? What programs can we put in place to say, okay, can the school make for free internet so people don't have to think about data for things that they need to do in school? What is that? Is there a few things? Are these things that you have thought of as NOS, and what steps have you taken, if you've thought of them, to see that these things are implemented? If you've not taken any of these, what are your own ideas that you think are something that should be done in the interim to help students in this time?
Well, as regards that, the 8 institutions, 7 institutions, and 1 private, which is Centenary College. Entirely 8. We have NOS presidents there. We also have SUG presidents there. And the entire 8 SUG presidents are from Rivers State. Now, letters have been...
Which means they are also part of NOS?
Yeah, they are also part of NOS. So, letters are being prepared. Invitation letters. Because I've already thought of that.
For what? Invitation to invite who?
Invite the SUG presidents.
Okay.
In order to have that interaction and know how to scuttle certain expenses in their
what expenses are you looking at?
Transportation expenses, that's number 1.
So what are the plans you have in mind? I think you need to understand.
Yeah.
The thing that they wrote in that letter, what is that thing that you want to discuss with the this is what we want to, this is what we think we should do. We do this, do that. It would help the transport situation. That's why we're inviting these people, so we talk.
Now, there are 2 things. First, it's either after having a meeting with them, they meet with their various transport committees in order to find a way to reduce the cost of transportation. That is number 1. Or NOS should come in by assisting in paying at least a certain percentage of the transportation cost, because I believe most of the university institutions in the states here, the transport directorate receive certain funds. So if NOS leadership can come in and settle most of, or a certain percentage of that fund, I think it will go a long way. And thirdly, we also want to call on the state government if they can assist by providing at least a bus per institution to convey students to their various campuses. It will go a long way too.
All right, let's hear from Nnamdi. Nnamdi is calling from Oluwabasanjo Road. Okay, I will lost the call from Nnamdi. I will go to some messages shortly, but remember the numbers are still very open. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. You can call us on any of those numbers and join in on the conversation. Just in case you've missed it, I'll remind you what it is. It's the cost of education. No fees, no exam policy. the impact of the economic situation on students. Should schools begin to implement policies that will reflect the harsh situation of the economy, something to give students a soft landing? And many suggestions have been made during the course of this conversation, both from my guest and the listener, on what and how they think government can come in to help this situation and make things easier for parents and students, not just even in tertiary education, tertiary institutions, but also down to the primary and secondary institutions, where it's also very difficult for parents every single morning. I can tell you, it's not really very easy. I know we already have the free education policy at the primary and secondary, but to what extent is that free education implemented is a different conversation altogether. Well, let's look at some messages. This one says, your guest is just using grammar to promote what I don't know. Shegun back only. Good morning. North leadership should not be looked at as being only there for bursary alone. Not even at that, I know some few LGA chairmen who are paying bursary and even scholarship. The leadership should focus on other areas of improving students' life, like bringing in people to teach them skills, entrepreneur, as well as sensitization of their. They should continue with the discussion on the visits to not impose such policies with regards to payment of fees before exams. This one says, welcome. Okay, I don't get that. Levinus says, Nigeria needs a holistic revolution. Every successive administration has failed us. Students should take their destiny in their hands, he says. They should not compromise until their demands are met. Wow. On Facebook, let's see if we have any messages here to take. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. We saw people protest the economic situation of the country, I think in Osun State. And we've heard rumors of students who are even considering that option because it's becoming very tough. Is that something that is been whispered in the corners or in meetings, whether it's in NOS or in the SUG level or among students? Is that a concern among students? Would it get to a point? Is that something the students have said? It comes to a point, this is the only option we have.
Well, as regards that, there are certain measures to take before you come to protest.
Do you think the situation that students are in at the moment, with the economy, how it's affecting all the activities and the policies that some schools are putting in place, do you think that it is something that warrants students to wake up and want to protest?
It has not gotten to that stage. To be very honest with you, it has not gotten to that stage. Because in the struggle, the Aluta struggle, we have the 3 C's, which is consultation, consolidation, and confrontation. At this point, we are at the consultation stage. And very soon, we'll get to the consolidation stage. And once the consolidation has not been met, that is when you can apply the confrontation, which is the protest. But at this point, we are still at the consultation stage.
So how long have you been consulting?
Consultation can take a while. Okay. But once you are getting positive signals, you maintain that. You maintain that consultation, because at least you are getting to a particular stage whereby you are sure that it will come into actualization.
Students, the leadership student unions and NANS as well, which is important to ask this with regards to the student loan. How are students and NANS leadership looking at this?
Well, students in the NANS leadership, they were part of the leadership that triggered the student loan scheme from the federal government. You know, theirs deals with the federal government, while ours deals with the state government. So they've triggered that, and 21st of this month, I believe it will come into actualization, because at that point, it will cut across a lot.
You see angles. A proper implementation of that? You think it's going to be something that's been well thought out?
Definitely. If it has not been well thought out, it wouldn't be all over the news.
All right. We'll wait and see how students get to benefit from that when it starts just a few days from now. Thank you again, Abbey Precious, for your time.
Thank you very much.
My name is Ifeami Andrew. We'll take a short commercial afterwards. Jude yes, would be in the studio with me to tell you what's coming up with Hello Port Harcourt. Okay, that's Jude here, but let's take the commercial first. When we come back, we'll hear from Jude. Stay with us.
For more talk, news and sports,